Hello, everybody. It's Stacy. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to A Writer Speaks. Today I'm elaborating a little more on the subject of anger. One of the modules from my course is called Anger and Exorcism, and I actually wrote a recent article about some ways to release anger, which is so incredibly important for health and for the health of our body and for the health of the planet. I had struggled with this for absolutely a very long time, and actually my whole life. So much so that I had it produced gallstones, which we can get into at a later date, but the emotions that you suppress over long periods of time become physical symptoms in your body, and anger is stored in the liver and stored in the gallbladder. And I did not know this until way after that I got the stones and proceeded to have my gallbladder removed, which I would not recommend. But anyway, it's a totally different topic, but because it has its own problems. But so I am very, very familiar with the topic of not being able to express anger properly and in a healthy way. And in the research of my books, I did extensive research on women's history, extensive, like pre-Bible, goddess culture, ancient histories, and the systematic extermination of women over the course of every single century that's gone by. And I won't get too much into it here, but I had done so much research and it just affected me so profoundly, so just right to my heart that I didn't know what to do with it. And one of the channels that I used to help was writing my books. So creativity and channeling a huge emotion like anger is one of the ways that I'll talk about in a few minutes. And I had been doing this research 4 or 5 years ago. So when Trump got elected, I had already processed so much of my own shit that didn't bother me at all, really. I mean, really, it didn't really bother me at all, because I had processed so much of that patriarchal suppression of women, just shit, that I was really kind of over it and was able to see it for what it was, see however you may feel about Trump, seeing him as a catalyst to break open the culture that allowed for that way of being to exist anyway. I mean, it's not like he created our culture of suppression of minorities. That's just we would have already been living in this culture for thousands of years, and so anyway, and then this isn't a political thing, but so that being said, with that, and then the Me Too movement, and all of the eruption of the anger and the sadness that is in women and has been for thousands of years, and this is just a catalytic moment to exorcise it, get it up and out and healed, and so we can move forward and release the victim consciousness that staying in anger brings, because I am guilty of it myself. Staying in anger too long becomes a habit, becomes a way of life. And all of the energy gets just stuck in parts of your body, like I mentioned earlier, my gallbladder. I had just gone through years of stones before I thought that taking it out was the answer. But anyway, So I'm just touching on a few of the tips that I have learned over the course of the last 5 years to move through anger in a healthy way, because it's what is important to live, to live a life with joy, to live a life free of the baggage of the unexpressed emotions that you have had from experiences in the past. So my first tip is to channel it. Channel the anger, right? I mean, if you're a writer or a painter or you have some sort of creative expression, or can you be those things for a little while, using the explosion of anger for creative projects is a huge help. And it can infuse some awesome energy to really enliven your projects. And I know that that's really worked for me. I do a lot of writing when I'm feeling annoyed or triggered or angry, and really all of the emotions make for great writing or great painting or great expressions of your art. So I would highly recommend that. But if I backtrack just a second, the first thing to do when you are feeling anger is to give it awareness. Just be aware of it. For so many women, we get stuck in a reactionary habit, and we don't. It's oh, nothing's wrong. Oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. And we deflect, which is just a knee-jerk habit. So for me, what's worked is pausing, understanding I don't even understand what I'm feeling right now, so no one else is going to either. And then I just take a few moments when possible. Sometimes it's not always in the moment. Maybe it's an hour later. It could be the night of, to just think about what my feelings even are, because I'm not very good at knowing what they are in the moment. I need to let them figure themselves out. So instead of saying something that I will regret in the moment, I usually zip it and just ask whomever I'm with at that time to just give me some time. And so just the awareness of it is key. And then after you've had some of that time to ruminate, being able to talk about it in a constructive way is huge. Anger loves an audience, and venting to friends, venting to strangers actually is even better, because there's a lot of freedom in just saying it like it is with people you don't even know, because there's no repercussion. They've got no skin in the game. So you can just be totally free to say what's really on your mind and on your heart, because saying what's on your heart is a whole lot harder than saying what's on your mind. Completely. I'll just give you an example of gosh, it must be 3 years ago by now. I had the pleasure of taking the Anana workshop with 3 beautiful women who were just so instrumental in my metamorphosis, honestly. One being Olympia Dukakis, the amazing actress, wonderful woman that she is. Desiree Matthews, whom I love, as well. And it's that weekend, I was struggling. I just turned 40 and a little, or 41 or something. And it was, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going through like premenopause or something. I was depressed. I was always just dead. And I had no life to me. And I couldn't understand why. And, I had talked to my gynecologist about it, and I had talked to friends about it, and it was the same answer. It was, hormones. Your hormones are off. It's just that time, change of life, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, no, I'm too young. I'm too young for this. Anyway, I went and saw a therapist who then referred me to a psychiatrist, which I had never been to, but they were enormously helpful, and therapy is enormously helpful. So I went to a psychiatrist who prescribed me an antidepressant, which I was like, I'm a huge against pill person, and that's just my personal choice, because I know they help a lot of people, but for me, I've always been like, no pills. So, but I was so desperate that I just wanted help. I wanted relief from the deadness. I wanted to feel more alive. So I filled the prescription on Thursday, and I was literally going to this workshop, this Anana workshop, on Saturday at the Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, which is an amazing place. And it transformed my life. It really did, because the exercises, they were all actresses, these glorious goddesses who put on this workshop. They're all actresses, and so they were all acting exercises to get in touch with your inner being, to go down to the depths of your soul, dark shit, and get in touch with that shit. And gotta say, not easy, and scary, very scary, but oh my God, worth it. Oh my God, worth it, because I released this rage that I did not know was there, and it was so life altering for me, because I came home from that weekend and I tossed those pills, because I knew that I could fix myself. I knew that what was wrong with me was unexpressed emotion, locked emotion of 40 years, because I was someone who had never been able to express my dissatisfaction, right? In situations with family, with whomever, with myself. So I was then able to work with that, and it took time for sure, and it was not easy, but I did not need those pills, and it was just a transformative experience. And I highly recommend, if you are struggling with depression, if there's a way that you can find some local workshop or something in your area that resonates, that has to do with peeling back the layers of your onion to really get to the heart of what's bothering you, it will have the most monumental effects on your transformation. So that honestly is just one of my highest recommendations. So that's really giving anger an audience to express it and release it and say, thank you, you served a purpose that is no longer, and we're out. So that's amazing. Right, so we talked about those, and I'm just trying to see what else. Forgive, right? Forgive it. That's a huge one. That's one I struggle with too, forgive it. Yeah, there's just, you get sick and tired of hearing yourself bitch, and at some point you gotta let it go, right? I mean, I had stuff that I kept bringing up for like a decade, and then it was like only in having awareness did I realize, you know what, this is just a pattern that doesn't serve me any longer, and so I gotta let it go. And so a couple of ways that I've learned that are great tools for forgiveness. One is One is actually an energetic cord cutting, which is a process you can do. You can Google it. It's great, energetic cord cutting. And it's basically the premise that we are energetic beings, right? I'm an energetic being, you're an energetic being. And anytime we have any kind of discord, which I love the word discord because it has the word coordinate, which is perfect. There is an exchange of energy between us anytime you interact with anybody, right? And so if it's a negative interaction, you create a negative cord. And if it's a stranger, the cord may last an hour and fade. But if it's someone that's in your life over and over and over again, and the cord gets stronger and stronger until it becomes this like steel metal rope between you, and it's this energetic cord that is unhealthy and is negative, and it just stays in your environment. And you can cut those cords depending on how thick and dense they are. It may take a few times, but it definitely works. It's a whole process that I might just do a video on cord cutting, because it's a huge it's a good tool to have in your toolbox. So cord cutting. The other one is breaking the contract too. You know, on a soul level, the people that are in your life are there for a reason, to teach you lessons, and you know, they can, and you can be aware of those lessons and say thank you and have gratitude. And sometimes that's all that's needed, and they can work themselves out. And sometimes that's not it. No matter how hard you try, you cannot forgive this person. And you realize, hey, you know, we had a soul contract that it's just not work. It is not working. And I've tried everything possible. And so you literally, this is another process I may do a quick video on, during meditation, to draw in the soul of the other person and let them know that you're breaking the contract, that you had an agreement to work on some issues in this lifetime, and it's just something that you no longer wish to work on, and so you're breaking that contract. And that also frees up a lot of energy in your system and in your life. And this also may take more than once to do, but it just over time, it frees those layers of dust that have been settling in your relationship with this other person. So that is something else to help with as well. Just want to make sure that, yes, the last one I'll mention is to laugh at it, right? Laugh. There's just so much angst, and you know, in the country and in our lives, and people have forgotten how to take a joke. And it's so just important to, you know, at some point you got to laugh at yourself, because what the hell is it all about if you can't laugh? So I, you know, watch, instead of the dark, violent shit that is shoved down our throats on a daily basis by absolutely every channel, except maybe the Hallmark channel. You know, turn on the Hallmark channel, which is like all wonderful and rosy, but it's kind of syrupy, but still great. Cat videos, or make your own cat video, or do something, watch your pets who are super funny and full of life, and enjoy the lighter moments of life, right? Just that's what will shift anger as well, is the laughing, the laughter. Spend time with your children who are completely hysterical. Mine makes me laugh every single day. So these are just a few little tips that I wanted to touch on, that I talk about in my my exorcism course, Anger and Exorcism. Anyway, so I just wanted to hop on, say hi. If you have some tools that you've got that help move through, release anger. Boxing class is a good one. It's a really good one. Physical exercise is huge too. But I would love to hear it. I would love to hear your thoughts. If any of these tools resonate with you, if you've tried them, if you'd like to try them, I'd love to hear from you. So let me know, post a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Take care.